What's going on, guys? Evan the Dark Souls enthusiast here, bringing another quick gameplay commentary for Dark Souls on the Xbox 360. This is going to be a series of 3 PvP matches that I fought while trying to get through the Demon Ruins on my new character. I'll fight this guy twice, and then I will fight one other random once, and then I will fight the Demon Firesage at the end. I wasn't really intending to do a Dark Souls commentary. I was actually going to do some more Gotham City Imposters, but some people on Xbox have messaged me and said that they kind of missed the Dark Souls stuff, and they felt like it had been a while since they got something on the Dark Souls, so I went ahead and brought it out. This is going to be an example where Wrath of Gods is going to get me killed, because while an amazing move, I only have 30 faith, so it just doesn't have the stopping power. And of course, this guy's just swinging away with his great sword, and then he smacks me down. Electra, which is the character you just saw battling, she isn't complete yet, but ultimately she's only going to have 55 poise. She is, however, going to have some awesome weapons in her inventory, so I'm looking forward to PvPing with her. Dark Moonblade and Sunlight Blade buffs, coupled with a variety of other moves, should be pretty good. By variety, of course, I mean Sunlight Blade and Dark Moonblade and Wrath of Gods, and just a general mix of spells like that. The general faith stuff, this is going to be a standard 30 faith pump just to get enough to use the Dark Moonblade buff and Sunlight Blade buffs, and everything else is just Dex. This is a Dex faith character that will ultimately be PvP in the kiln, but like I said, I don't use the bottomless box glitch, so every time I want to PvP, I unfortunately have to play through the game, and on this character I have to play through the game like 3 times in order to get 2 copies of Sunlight Blade and 1 copy of Dark Moonblade, which is enough to buff for all my attunement slots. Not much to say about this PvP match here. This guy's using the Life Hunt Scythe, and that's just all in all not a very good weapon for PvP. It has its advantages, like you can dead angle people really well if you know how. Dead angle, of course, is to strike someone without a lock on, typically at a weird angle so that their shield doesn't block it and they just randomly take damage. But he's not trying to dead angle me, he's just continually charging me with the Life Hunt Scythe. The Life Hunt Scythe is basically a really bad version of a regular scythe and a really bad version of a great scythe kind of combined into one. Some people like to PvP with it. I think it's fun to use too. It does have the highest bleed per hit in the game, but that doesn't make it good. And this will be the last invasion. Sorry this is a shorter video, guys. I just didn't have time, and I'm still trying to play through the game to get to the kiln again for more PvP action, so there'll be a bunch of PvP videos coming eventually. I just have to get back to the kiln. So this is more of an update video to show you guys what's going on. And I thought it was pretty cool. I got invaded in the Demon Ruins a couple times. It gave me something to upload, and my favorite matches are actually ones that take place outside the kiln, like random invasions, because that's when you run into like the cool, weird builds people have. Like, I'd like to have a character that is kind of keeping like the level 50 range to invade like weird places, but I don't do that because I ultimately wind up feeling like I'm twinking, which basically is a MMO term, I believe, which basically says making high-end characters for low-level areas just to kill on people who are new to the game, or just really high-end weapons on low-end characters, which the bottomless box glitch makes it pretty easy. Now, I could probably play through the game at soul level 20 and stay at soul level 20 and even rock like crazy gear that I earned legitimately in quotation marks, but ultimately there's really no good reason to wreck PvP early game for people, because if you start picking on people early game, they'll just never go into human form. So that's something to think about. What I ultimately should probably do is on my mage get him to like soul level 120 and then not kill any of the bosses, rather just go to New Game Plus and not kill any of the bosses, like avoid all the optional bosses. That way I can sort of PvP a little more. Unfortunately, to open the kiln, you have to kill most of the bosses, making most of the areas uninvadable. That's one. I know it's unlikely we'll see any more patches for this game, and probably unlikely we'll even see any DLC, but it makes me sad because I'd like to see the ability to invade after a boss is dead. That would be pretty cool, but I don't know why we can't. It's just not something they do. And I'm being very cautious because I perceive that this guy's kind of a lousy PvPer, no offense to him. He was very polite and he sent me some good duels messages, but this is the same that got me the first round just by swinging his greatsword into me when I wasn't playing very well. I was trying to rat them out to be cute and cheesy, so this match I'm playing very cautiously, and there's no need to rush. For some reason, a lot of my PvP videos I get criticized for running a lot or not rushing in enough. I try to be honorable, but at the same time I also kind of do whatever works. Like, rushing at heavy weapons seems stupid. Like my Boulder side sword, has far more range than any of that stuff. Of course, I should have just rushed it and killed him there, but I couldn't tell what spell that was, and I was afraid he was going to try another pyro explosion. Of course, then I hear him casting this one, run in and get the backstab. generally most of the Firestorms and Pyro abilities just aren't very good. And I only taunted him so rudely because I hit the wrong one. I meant to hit Procrastination, but kind of did the rude one. So my apologies. The guy was messaging me, and I apologized for the "well, that's it" taunt. And of course, just to wrap up the video, we'll do a quick New Game Plus run-through on Demon Firesage. This guy isn't too hard. If you block a lot, things get a lot easier. I find some of his attacks, are kind of hard to roll through. They're really predictable, but I think they're easy to screw up the timing, and every time you screw up, there's a pretty severe penalty, so I think it's best just to keep your distance. He has plenty of life, so I just use a bleed weapon because all of the Asylum Demon variants, Demon Firesage, Asylum Demon, Stray Demon, they're all extremely weak to the bleed effects on weapons, so I utilize those to the fullest to make it a lot easier and quicker. This is, of course, a +5 Lightning Lido, or Lido, or whatever it's pronounced. I still haven't managed to get my high-end weapons despite being on New Game Plus. This is also going to be the character that finally gets all the achievements on Dark Souls. I never did get Knight's Honor, but this character is going to do it. All she needs to do is forge the Great Shield of Artorias, and it's done, man. All the weapons. And of course, I've had a couple people, subscribers, offer to let me hold it, which is very sweet of you. I appreciate it. It would make it, that much quicker, but I have to know New Game Plus anyway, and since I'm such a Dark Souls freak, it'd be nice to say I got everything legitimately. Since this boss is pretty much exactly the same as Stray and Asylum Demon with new tricks, and just a heavier emphasis on blocking, I did kind of want to talk about some other things. I've heard rumors, and I haven't tested these yet myself, and I will eventually, but I've heard rumors about different properties on the catalysts. I have heard, and of course, Logan's catalyst is the highest magic adjustment catalyst when you're not using Tin Crystallization Catalyst. Tin Crystallization Catalyst is easily the most powerful catalyst, but it halves your casts. But I've heard some things about some other stuff, like, I already know, of course, and this is confirmed, that the Demon's Catalyst that this guy drops actually has a ton of melee damage, which is more useful than you think. The fire damage scales on your intelligence, so if you're like a dedicated mage with 50 intelligence, you can punch people for like 300 plus damage. It's a lot more useful than people think, and on like an all mage playthrough, that would be a godsend, just be able to punch trash and not really like violate your mage only weapons thing. And of course, lastly, I've heard, and this is unconfirmed, I don't know if I'll be able to confirm it, that the Izalith Catalyst, which of course you get from fighting the random witch in the Izalith Ruins, rumor has it that it has, don't try to backroll that, he'll always catch you because the reach is so far. But I've heard rumors that that catalyst, the Izalith Catalyst, has a hidden stun property where it'll hit your enemies and actually stun them. And I heard Beatrice's Catalyst is the same way. So I'm not sure if any of that is true. I meant to cast Wrath of Gods there for a little bit of shit, but I hit the wrong thing. Boy, poison is ridiculous. I get hit by that at 55 poison and just keep rolling. Go figure. But I've heard, yeah, that Beatrice's Catalyst and the Izalith Catalyst actually have like added stun on their magical attacks, and if so, that actually might unlock a new character build for me where I would spam like heavy soul arrow and just kind of stun people out. I don't know, like that's just a thought. I know if you increase your dex, it increases your cast animation by a little bit. So if it actually did have hit stun, that would probably be a viable build. Oh, and of course there's the Oculi Catalyst or whatever, the one that takes like 15 intelligence that you basically just use to cast greater magic weapon. Well, I'm out of time, guys. I appreciate everyone watching. I know this is only like a 9-minute video, but I just want to throw some more Dark Souls stuff up since that's what people are asking for. Alright, everyone, take care, and thanks for watching as always.